What's up, everybody? I've been gone for a minute. I apologize. And I completely missed the NBA trade deadline, or at least reporting to you guys on the NBA trade deadline. So I'm going to do it now. And I realize I'm really late with the James Harden thing, but let me just talk about this now. So, for you guys who probably already know, James Harden at the NBA trade deadline, about I think like 12 or 1, a couple hours before the trade deadline ended, James Harden was traded to the Philadelphia 76ers upon his request as he wanted out. So the Nets sent James Harden, Paul Millsap to the Sixers for Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and 2 first-round picks. So there's a lot that's going into this trade. There's a lot of just moving parts everywhere. First of all, James Harden apparently did want out. And this is interesting because he wanted out but didn't want it to be public, because now this is the second team he's wanted out on in 2 years. He wanted out of Houston last season, early in the season, and now in this season he wants out of Brooklyn. Yeah, there's already a lot there. He was going to get backlash anyway because eventually he was going to get traded, but I guess he tried to avoid some of that. And in a sense, I understand that. What I'm interested to know is, why did James Harden want out? And I'm sure the Kyrie being a part-time player thing probably was part of it. There's going to be a documentary that comes out about this whole situation one day, at least I hope. And I can't wait for that day so we can figure out exactly what happened. Because I know there's probably a lot more that we just don't know about. Especially even with, and I know we're reading into it too much, but like, even when like LeBron and KD were picking teams the other night and the jokes flying about James Harden, like LeBron and KD couldn't hold in their laughs and all that. So there's something more here that we'll just have to find out later. And then from the Ben Simmons side, we all know the Ben Simmons saga. After the playoffs and he was bashed by Doc Rivers and Joel Embiid. And then he pretty much said, I'm not going to play another game for you, and just sat out. If he really had mental health issues, that's definitely one thing. But it seems like that he really just didn't want to play for the team and vows to never play for the Sixers again. So yeah, that was that whole debacle, and then the whole practice thing beginning of the year. And we all know the crazy Ben Simmons saga. And now he has finally got his wish. He's finally been traded. And I said this in one of my other videos. I think it was the CJ McCollum one. But yeah, again, I give props to Daryl Morey, because all of us were all laughing at Daryl Morey. Just trade him. Stop holding him hostage. You're not going to get anything back for him. And they end up with James Harden. So I guess, and a few of you guys agree with Daryl Morey that you don't just give him away for nothing. So I give you props for that. You guys were right. And they ended up with all-star talent back for him, which I didn't think would happen. Both disgruntled players get what they want. They get out of the organization they don't want to be in. And I think both sides, along with the players, both sides got what they needed and what they wanted. For the Nets, they get a playmaker, they get an all-star back so they can still have kind of a big three. But the thing about the Nets, though, this will be more for next year. I don't see them putting this together enough to compete this year, especially now that they won 10 in a row and now are like the 7th or 8th seed. So this might be more of a move for them next year as Ben Simmons gets accustomed. They figure the Kyrie situation out. But for them, they don't give up Patty Mills. And so most of their core is honestly still there. And then you get a Seth Curry on top of that. You get an Andre Drummond, the big they finally needed. So, and then of course 2 first-round picks. So Brooklyn got a good haul back for James Harden. They got what they needed to compete in the future. And for the Sixers, this sets them up to compete now. They don't give up Thibault. They don't give up Maxey. And now you're getting that score in James Harden. He will have to distribute. That will be a part of what he needs to do. But it won't be like Brooklyn where he has to like just submit to Kyrie and KD and let them work. He finally gets a chance to go back to kind of how he was in Houston, where he just needs to focus on scoring and getting his and getting Joel Embiid involved. So yeah, good trade for both sides. Both sides keep valuable role players they needed and then add. I think the Sixers are better to compete right now. And now they put themselves in position maybe to compete for a title this year. They can figure this Harden and Embiid thing out quickly. I'm honestly not sold on that combo. I thought Dame would have been better for him. But obviously, when James Harden's available and one's out, you got to go get him. So we'll see how that combination works out. Hopefully it's not a Harden Dwight Howard situation and it's its own thing that actually works. But a lot of people it's Kobe and Shaq. We'll see if that, obviously it won't be that, but we'll see if it'll work out something like that. And this will make a very interesting Eastern Conference. I think now I would take Milwaukee to get to the championship. I had picked Brooklyn coming into the year, but I think now with those two teams having to figure it out, I think I would go with Milwaukee. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Philly fans, Nets fans, what do you think of the trade? how do you feel about your teams going forward? And I will see you guys next time.